Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Asakai here, bringing to you another video for Conqueror's Blade, published by Porus Interactive. We have the update log for February 20th. We got APAC going. We have APAC uh, February 20th, 1400 to 1700 UTC plus 8. EU and AMS February 20th, 700 hours to 1000 hours UTC plus 1, with a compensation of 8,000 bronze coins, 300 honor, and 15 unit medals as compensation. For the first event, we have Merchant Trove. Apparently, we're also getting an epic Nodachi attire. Fire Dragon with Snow. After opening the Merchant Trove 10 times, you are guaranteed to receive all rewards, including the epic Nodachi attire Fire Dragon with Snow. The first opening is free. Subsequent opening will require a vault key with vault keys with the cost increasing gradually. The required vault keys count for 10 openings is as followed: 0, 1, 2, 3, 8, 12, 8, 16, 20, 25, and 30. I did use a calculator earlier, so this is 117. For Pacific rewards and probabilities, please go to the O event page in game to check. And obviously, we get a nice graphic for the skin, though a bit too Chinese looking for my take. I do think if you, well, I mean, it looks good. That's the thing. But if it was one-handed, this kind of makes sense. Unfortunately, because Nodachi's two-handed, I feel like I feel like this this pommel looking thingy doesn't feel right. Obviously, these things are very Chinese-esque. Uh, so I feel like the aesthetics just don't work as a Nodachi, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe people will like it when we see it in game. All or nothing returns. We're gonna get the Spartan season weapon attires. So stars can be earned by winning consecutive battles in the all or nothing event. Losing will clear stars earned back to 0. Earn stars to increase your treasure trove quality. We got 1, 2, and 3 with iron, silver, and gold treasure troves, respectively. Your first gold treasure trove is bound to give you a season weapon attire selection box. Honestly, they should just have it so that you can um, get three selection boxes from gold treasure trove eventually. The fact that it's almost impossible to get all of the seasonal weapon attires is upsetting. Though I was really lucky in, I think in one of the seasons, I was really lucky to get the other two as golden drops. But you're likely to only ever get two. Well, actually, most people will probably only be able to get the weapon attire. I think I maxed out the golden troves several times, and I was not lucky the other times. So, uh, Protection Charms will protect you from losing your stars upon defeat. Protection Charms use them in the deployment stage to prevent losing stars upon defeat. This item is consumed if it takes effect, but returned to you if you win the battle. This time, All or Nothing will adopt a leadership return mode. No leadership returns when your units die, and 50% leadership of the remaining forces returns when your units retreat. All units are available for you to deploy except for Spartan season units, Chevaliers, and Falconetti Gunners. I'm very surprised that there's no mention of the Lion Raw crew. The reason why Falconetti Gunners were removed was because the siege tower just kept getting destroyed. I don't understand why the Chevaliers are also still banned. Chevaliers, if without the retinue, should just be usable. I think it would be very gimmicky to use them without the retinue, but for a all or nothing game mode, they should just allow the Chevaliers to be just to be available without retinue. That's how I feel. But yeah, Falconetti Gunners being banned makes sense. Lions Royal Cruise, where they banned? Are they going to be banned? I hope they're banned. Additional rules, equipment, units, and artilleries are all pre-provided in this all or nothing. The equipment for heroes is reforged. The leadership of each hero is set at 1800. The attacking side can deploy 2 rare artilleries, while the defending side can deploy 1 rare artillery. High star units are not prohibited at the event, allowing for the deployment of up to 5-star units. Don't know why they keep this. This honestly is only if they introduce the mode during the lock, which is literally the first 3 weeks. After the first 3 weeks, we're basically open. Teams are limited to a maximum of 3 players. Kind of makes sense, but at the same time, like reward-based game modes should, I don't know, like teams of fives is very hard to like get a consistent, but like it's not like I feel like because there's so many people, they should they should allow for people to just team up sometimes. Or at least have game modes where like you can have larger teams. I feel like there should be group modes. I feel like that. The number of cavalry units that each player can deploy is restricted to a maximum of 3. Honestly, this is stupid. I hate any kind of restriction, and especially like if it's only a particular unit type. As much as I hate cavalry, this type of restriction is stupid. You just need to fix your cavalry and have them not be so oppressive. That being said, we also have only heroes can interrupt flag caps on all maps. Units can no longer interrupt captures. When heroes respawn or change units at a supply point, their unit receives a 30% movement speed bonus for 8 seconds. If they get rid of this as well, cavalry would also be less obnoxious to fight against. Come on. Cavalry literally coming out 30% faster out through the gates. Who thought this was a good idea? And like again, like the only reason you have this limiter on cavalry is because cavalry itself is broken. And then you add in something that just magnifies their strength. Their speed is their strength. So again, get like fix your game. I think everyone knows that cavalry is broken, but they refuse to change it because they like it. I don't like it. I like I like using them, but I don't like it. It's very very contradictory. I know. It's very weird. Limited time warden mission. Time is February 20th after maintenance to March 6th at midnight. Participate in, well, that's your 100 hours, so participate in 10 all or nothing battles and achieve a B rank or higher to receive Vault Key times 2 and Treatises times 2. Participate in 20, get a B rate, and you get Vault Keys times 3 and Treatises times 3. Win 10, all or nothing, no restriction on the achievement, and we have Vault Key times 5 and Treatises times 5. Special restriction at the end of the game. Certain quest gains for half. Only affects quests that are based on total quantity. Get a troop kill score of X or more in any type of field or siege battle. Does not affect quests based on number of battles, such as join 5 PvP battles. This makes sense, but at the same time, it's just like, just let people get through their quests sometimes. You know how difficult it is to get 1,000 unit kill score when you're not like loaded out the ass. Like my units are really strong, and there are some times where it's just like maybe I'm abusing a strong unit, like the Spartan Chosen, and I can get 1,000 unit kill score really easily. I just let people complete their quest. I don't know why you have to be such a tight ass and stop people from achieving quests easily. Your quest should just be a shouldn't like it should just be a time waster, but it shouldn't be like an impossible challenge. There are some that are just super impossible sometimes, unless you're particularly going after them. I believe, oh, what was it? Get God of War or something? It's like get 5 kills without dying, um, or get 160 glory. Uh, blah. Get the 160 unit kill one. I forget what it's called, but yeah, like some of those challenges can be very difficult sometimes. So the 160 unit kill one is easier since we got high tier units with big, like the Phalanx has 40 unit model. It's not actually that hard to kill like 4 of those. At the end of the day, I just feel like that they're being a bit stingy. But they put it there, put it there. We get a nice graphic for what I believe is the longbow, could be the shortbow, the maul, and the spear and shield. No, I think the maul. I think the maul's the most appealing one out of the three. I like the shield. I don't like the spear. Then again, you can't really do much with the spear, but I don't know what this thing is. That just makes no sense to me. Remove this thing. Maybe I would have liked the spear better. Simplicity is best sometimes. Nothing you can really do. Though, again, like, the longbow is a bit too much as well. I don't like these lion thingies. These thingies just makes no sense to me. At least the mole is, like, completely ridiculous in the first place, so it kind of makes sense that, like, the head just looks the way it does. Now, other bug fixes and optimizations. We have rank protection cards and rank boost cards items are available. Stupid items that shouldn't exist. Again, ranked mode is supposed to be a mode that uh, predicates on the skill of the player. Having items that directly boost or protect your ranking is a massive no-no. It just diminishes the value that rank is supposed to have. And I'll be honest, there's just not enough people doing ranked constantly to even matter. So I don't feel like CB is a skill-based game. That is also, besides the fact that ranked uses a non-standard equipment style. So again, if you're going to have ranked, everyone should be standardized so that you don't have power differences based on like literal progression. Ugh, I don't even I don't even understand how anyone can justify like a ranked this unfair. Like the difference between a person running around with literally no doctrines on their units and a guy with tier 5 doctrines, like 5 tier 5 doctrines on their unit is literally night and day. But anyway, players who have already obtained the limited time titles Spring's Arrival and Onslaught Conquerors will have them automatically upgraded to permanent title after maintenance on February 20th. Territory Wars Fort New Mode Warrior Showdown optimization. If the number of combatants is insufficient and they exit the battle list, a pop-up prompt will now appear. I believe what was happening was that they were trying to start the battle, but there was insufficient combatant, so they just instantly lost. But the problem here is that it tried to start the battle several times, and it just instantly just cracked. So again, lack of testing. Now on to I did read this beforehand, but I am going to express a very massive amount of disappointment from the fact that this is not its own balance change, but is basically thrown in like an afterthought. as bug fixes and optimizations. And don't get me wrong, Kev tools were kind of ridiculous, and there were definitely some things that were a little bit iffy. I'm just don't like the extent that they have decided to just be like, we're just going to throw all of these changes in and we're going to see if the Kev tools are going to be fine. As long as they are not OP anymore, they'll be fine. And that's the thing. That's what it's screaming at me. And I'm scratching my nose like crazy because I didn't moisturize my face roughly or something. But it is really upsetting that once again, a unit like the Kev tools deserve a place on the battlefield, but they refuse to allow them to be. They refuse to allow them to have a gimmick that is just. It is still worth using. Now it's going to be completely worthless. Now, that being said, like, only one change was probably necessary out of probably the 5 changes they have here. But let's go through them. So first one, we have fix an issue with the Kev Tools Cavalry skill, spreading flames, where burning arrows would ignore block and unstoppable effects, causing burn control effects. Now, spreading flame will only apply the burn control effect if damage is dealt and the target is not in a control immune state. This already implies a misunderstanding on how the burn control effect works, and a misunderstanding on how fire should work, or reworked it back in how they reworked it back in oh my god, Legacy of Fire. Now, first of all, the burning effect most of the time would just be applied. There is a secondary effect, which I think is called a flamed, which is attached to the actual CC effect. Now, I don't know how all of this is calculated because for all I know, it's kind of percentage based. Most of the time, if you don't have any fire resistance, you would instantly get a flame. And this flamed effect has an innate like 5 second duration or maybe 6 seconds. Now, the thing about this secondary effect is that because it's attached to the CC effect, even while you're burning, you won't get CC'd twice. That's the important part. You wouldn't get CC'd a second time, and as long as you had the flamed effect going, you would be basically immune to the CC. But then it would run out, and if you were still burning, you would just get flamed again, causing another section of CC. Now, I understand that the Kev tools had this really funny bug where their spreading flame effect had the flame, like, basically, it had a different effect. Basically, working like the inflamed effect, but was completely and utterly broken in the fact that it would full on stop the unit. Like it was basically the same as being CC'd by the flamed effect, but unless you were control immune, you could not get out of this state. And apparently, like people are saying that you were effective even if you were control immune. I doubt that. Control immunity does seem to work most of the time, and there are weird things that do happen, and that's just fire. That's just how fire is sometimes. So I don't know how to. I don't know what to say besides just like if they fix that issue, Everything else should be okay. Now, it makes sense that ignore, block, and unstoppable effects. Yeah, sure, that makes sense. I feel like that's good. The thing here is that, like, everything else, and I haven't gone over them. So, continuing on, fixed an issue with the Kev Tool's skill spreading flames where burning arrows could be launched without restriction. Now, the number of burning arrows fired during spreading flames will be limited to 4 or 5 rounds. I think this is really dumb. Honestly, really dumb. Fixed an issue where units affected by the Kev Tool's spreading flame burning arrows would lose basic logic behavior such as enemy targeting and movement. Fine. Again, that's basically a double up, but I'm wondering if it's referring to something else that's happening. So, like, the burning effect was not only causing the control effect, but is causing the other CC that I was referring to, where they would lock up completely as if they were on fire again. Fix an issue where the hero affected by Kev Tool's spreading flame burning arrow could not roll to remove burn accumulation. Yeah, that's fine. But why does your burn accumulation have infinite duration? That's stupid. Why does your burn accumulation have infinite duration? Remove the flame spreading mechanic from the Kev Tool's spreading flame burning arrows. Now only melee attacks after unlocking the mastery node will trigger the flame spreading effect. This, again, really stupid change, and I'm not sure how to feel. Like, logically, each one feels like a okay. So two of them refer is fixing the CC issue. One of them, well, actually, this one also makes it so that the effect doesn't ignore block, which, again, I don't know why you have effects that go through block. If it blocks, it shouldn't apply the effect. But apparently, they decided that these burning arrows ignore block. Or maybe, like, it applied the burn accumulation, which I think is fine, but the burn effect itself shouldn't go through. Now, I don't like this one. Limiting the number of volleys is really stupid. Like, so dumb. Because it really doesn't do anything except limiting the overall number of arrows per usage of spreading flame. What you really want to do is make Kev tools go back to the supply point. Get them off the field. You should just give them an ammo. Just give them ammo. And like this bug fix is fine again, just getting rid of bone accumulation for odd reason of why they have it. And my biggest gripe again, like maybe I'm fighting a bit too hard for Kev tools. I just loved Kev tools. I used to use them when I unlocked them because I used to use them all the time with hunting time when they had hunting time in charge. So there was that. So I don't like this is the one thing that also just doesn't make sense to me. The spreading flame mechanic makes no like the flame spreading mechanic makes no sense. Makes no sense when you remove it from the one ability that originally had fire. The one ability that had a burning effect because them shooting fire arrows should spread. They also deal extra damage with their melee attacks to units that are on fire. So it just makes even more sense that the fire arrows would set everyone on fire and then they just go in and slash them down. It just makes it just creates a synergistic effect. But now it's just got this weird, oh, we shoot some burning arrows, maybe they're going to be on fire. Now we're just going to have this flaming sword kind of thing. Like, if you're going to give them a flaming sword, fucking actually give them a sword on fire. At the very least. But no, they're going to have a sword that just basically, like, it's going to have a sword that basically is going to apply burning effect just because. I'm mad over the wrong reasons, but this is a huge balance change for Kev Tools, and I'm really upset that it's not even relegated to its own section. And not to mention, they're only addressing Kev Tools in this case for like balance changes. Now, just continuing on because otherwise I just rant. Fix an issue where certain unit skills would get abnormal cooldown and become unavailable. The Lions Roar crew will be unable to use the sprint skill between the start of setup artillery and other actions. Fix an error where the Lions Roar crew would report a problem when using the attack command under special circumstances. Fix an issue where the Fortebraccio pikemen could move forward and backwards while in dispersed formation. Fix an issue where the Demez Arquebusiers would target enemies twice. Fix an issue where the unit command keyboard hits would flicker abnormally at certain resolutions. Fix an issue where the unit count might display incorrectly after reconnecting following a disconnect. Fix an issue where ranged units would have animation errors when knocked back by the Spartan kick from shield and spear heroes. Fix an issue where the name of the traditions power attire part for the Iron Reapers was incorrect. Didn't actually notice that last one, but I mean everything else seems kind of normal except for this sprint one. I've never put sprint on. Oh, I never used sprint, or I never noticed that sprint couldn't be used when they were setting up artillery because I would never try to do that. It's been a real downer of a week for like CV. A lot of news coming through, of course. Now, there's one thing I want to also address before closing up this video, and it's this letter. Now, I won't read through it all, but I want to go through just kind of some things that really annoys me. And it starts off with this line. The heart of Conqueror's Blade lies in the chaos of Chinese cavalry clashing with Viking berserkers, samurais dueling Roman legions beneath crumbling walls. And you'll understand really easily why that's really annoying. Because, again, it highlights things that haven't happened. Unless, like, we haven't received actual samurais. Well, the Orochi samurais could technically be samurais, but, but I don't see them as the samurais that we want. And of course, Viking berserkers could refer to, well, probably refers to the berserkers themselves. So yeah, that's fine. We got Chinese cavalry. The Roman legions, unless you're talking about the Mirmillones, we don't have Romans. And I don't know, it sets the tone that like they don't even play their own game. I don't know. I just don't know how to explain it. It's just now another thing is this part. I'm a little bit worried, I'm a little bit skeptical, and maybe it's going to be fun because I really don't like warring state chariot hordes. Warring states could be could be a reference to the Chinese warring states, as again would probably be what they're referring to. Chariot hordes? Chariots are cool. I don't know how they would implement them properly. Renaissance city state cannons? We already have Lion's Roar crew, and everyone hates their existence. Getting shot by them is not fun. Using them is definitely fun because they're so goddamn powerful. Now, I'm not sure about you, but Directive 1 with multi-civilization warfare, it explicit I mean like basically it explicitly states there's going to be two seasons focused on Eastern civilizations. And again, we're going back to China. Like it it definitively states will definitely include Chinese themed seasons with an S. Seasons. Now, I did speak with Cool O1 and oh god, I don't know why he's trying to basically kind of like dismiss this letter as saying that it's not confirmed, even though this letter basically confirms that we will get a fourth Chinese season. It is the most overrepresented culture in Conqueror's Blade. Now, I'm not privy to the entire. I mean, like, I don't know all of history and stuff, so I don't know if each of these Chinese themes are references to different eras in Chinese history or particular groups of Chinese. To me, they're all just Chinese. They don't stand out as particularly distinct culture because they're all very, very similar. And that's not to say that, like, sometimes people mistake Chinese, Japanese, and Korean or, like, other Eastern cultures, or, like, far Eastern cultures, anyway. But China, like, we have the original Honor Tree units, we had Dynasty, we had Eternal, like technically we had Snowstorm with the Liao Rangers, we had Tyranny with the Shenji Grenadiers, and then we actually had the second season with Eternals, third season with the Dragon Rise. But the fact that these two seasons were so close together, like there was only a season between them or something, two seasons between them. What was it? No, 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 three seasons between them. It was Eternals, Sengoku, Nightfall, Avalon, then Dragon Rise. Sorry. So they had three seasons between them, almost a year apart. Now, if the next season's not Chinese, big surprise, but it will probably be about a year apart from the last time we had another Chinese season. But my biggest problem is that there are so many cultures left that to be explored, but there's so many cultures that deserve a second look. The Mongols, the Mongolian season, Wrath of Nomads, our very first season, technically very first season, but like you also have the Rattans. You also have the Chivalric. This this is really important to to flesh out other cultures. I get it if people see all of Europe as kind of like Western civilization, but that's stupid because every single European like like there are so many different distinct cultures in European medieval history that have so many iconic and very easy to implement units. I still don't understand why they refuse to kind of implement a very broad number of units, very small number of units, all unique, and they fail to to properly demonstrate an understanding of these cultures somehow. I get it. And it brings me to kind of like my final point, and it's this line here. Conqueror's Blade isn't a history simulator, it's a war fantasy sandbox. It's it's not a history simulator. It's never been a history simulator. It has always been a battle simulator, a medieval battle simulator. You're shifting it. You have shifted it. It's been like this for quite a while now. You have shifted it into a fantasy battle simulator where you've added so many fantastical elements that you've you've basically pushed away a lot of the niche fans that came to your game originally. I don't know or why the change, whether or not it's because it's better this way, but the reason why I started playing your game was because I wanted that battle simulation, but it was different from how other games handle battle simulation. It was maybe I'm just rose-tinted glasses, but just like it felt like I was fighting with my units. It felt like controlling my units mattered. It felt like I was fighting with other people. Now it just feels like a sandbox. Now it feels like a game. It feels more like a game where I'm running around, shoot, like, to put it simply, it feels like I'm playing Call of Duty all over again, where I'm literally blindly running around killing. Like, I'm not even thinking anymore. I'm not even role playing anymore. I've stopped role playing. Everything is all about kills, everything is all about just winning. I can't stand how bad Conqueror's Blade has gotten, but I'm still playing it. I don't know why, but I still play it, and the next part is also just really annoying. Whether it's the armor details that history enthusiasts loves, the tactical maneuvering that strategy fans crave, or the playful debates, blah 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 blah. I don't know who wrote this, but it feels like it was written by someone who doesn't understand Conqueror's Blade or has never played it or never been part of the community because this is not how the community, at least the English speaking community, speaks about Conqueror's Blade. As much as and as much as this letter was supposed to be some kind of reassurance to the community. To me, it just shows their absolute lack of consideration or understanding of the community. Or at least me. And I say community at large because I don't think that they understand all facets of the community. Or at least they're speaking to a very small section of the community that probably would just eat this letter and be like, oh man, we're so excited for all these things that are going to come. I just, I don't feel hopeful. And maybe I'm just spiraling into a role of depression. So if you've made it this far, thank you for staying around for my rant. But there's no but. I'm still going to follow Conqueror's Blade until it basically dies, or until I find something else to do with my life. And I hope it does get better because there's never a time, or there's never a point where hope is lost. And I guess that's the end. Hope hope you guys enjoyed the video. But other than that, my name's Atsukai. Have a nice day. And my nose is so itchy. I'm going to scratch it again and moisturize it again, and it's just going to be. Bye for now.